Permaculture is a design framework based on ecological principles that models human systems after the resilient diversity and balance of natural ecosystems. When applied to business, permaculture moves you away from growth at all cost, which acts like a cancer or an invasive weed, and shifts you towards regenerative, highly profitable, and indestructible business growth. Here are 20 fundamental principles for sustainable business growth directly translated from permaculture design. The foundation: observation and energy. 1. Observe and interact, the market reality check. So the permaculture concept here is that before you change the landscape, right, spend a year observing the weather pattern, the soil, the water flow. The business principle here is stop building offers based on assumptions. Spend deep, uninterrupted time observing your market, customer behavior, and the macroeconomic shifts. Good business design works when you tap into existing human behaviors and patterns rather than trying to create new ones. Catch and store energy, capital and talent retention. So the permaculture concept here is capture water, sunlight, and wind, your natural energies, when they're in their abundance so that you can survive times when they're in drought. The business growth principle is that when profits are high, do not immediately blow them away on lifestyle creep or low ROI expansions. You want to store energy by building a robust cash reserve, optimizing tax efficiencies, and investing heavily in training your core team so you're bulletproof during recession. Obtain a yield, immediate financial viability. The permaculture concept is you can't design a forest and grow a forest if you starve today. So before you can help anyone else, you must make sure that you actually have a system that can support you now before you focus on long-term gains. So basically the same thing in business. Before you focus on long-term payouts, you need to make sure that you have enough oxygen to sustain your current growth and development. And if you can't even sustain what you are doing right now, then focusing on a future big payout or a future yield is futile. You must look after yourself now. The architecture: efficiency and waste. 4. Apply self-regulation and accept feedback. Data-driven agility. The permaculture concept is negative feedback loops in nature prevent overpopulation or resource depletion. In business growth, we listen to our data and our critics. High churn rates, negative reviews, or employee burnout are system feedbacks telling you to self-regulate. We discourage yes-man culture. We welcome hard truths so that we can pivot before market forces us to collapse. Number 5, use and value renewable resources. The freedom from leverage. The permaculture concept here is rely on sunlight, wind, and biological processes rather than finite fossil fuels or cheap chemical inputs. The business growth principle is build growth engine powered by people, systems, technology that it can be repeated and is renewable. Don't put all your eggs in the finite of something that can't be reproduced. 6. Produce no waste, the lean operation mandate. So the permaculture principle is in a mature forest, the output of one organism is always the input for another. Nothing is wasted. The business growth principle is ruthlessly eliminate operational friction, repurpose old content into new formats, turn customer support data into product features, transform your internal software templates into SaaS products or digital downloads you can sell. The strategy, systems, and interconnection. Number 7, design from patterns to details, the macro to micro view. The permaculture concept is step back to observe broad natural patterns, for example, spirals, waves, gravity, and then focus on specifics like the plants. The business principle here is master the high-level business strategy, your positioning, your unit economics, and your overarching value proposition before obsessing over micro tactics like specific social media algorithms or the color of your buttons. Integrate rather than segregate. Tearing down departmental silos. The permaculture principle here is companion planting, placing mutually supportive species together like beans, adding nitrogen to the soil for corn, is going to be much better. The business principle is forbid your departments from operating in isolation. You need to integrate the sales and marketing and customer success into an intertwined revenue engine. When your client-facing teams seamlessly pass data back and forth, growth accelerates organically. Use small and slow solutions, the power of iteration. The permaculture concept is small systems are easy to maintain, so change things gradually so you don't destabilize the ecosystem. The business growth principle is scale incrementally. Test your product with a small focus group. Iterate the offer based on the feedback and expand systematically. Throwing millions of dollars at an unoptimized, unproven business model usually results in a spectacular failure. The evolution. Diversity and resilience. Use and value diversity. The risk mitigation. So the permaculture concept, a monoculture crop is incredibly vulnerable to a single pest or disease. A biodiverse forest is immune to it. The business growth principle is diversify your business to insulate it from shocks. Avoid relying on a single major client, a single source of traffic, or a single product line. Build multiple streams of revenue and foster a team with diverse perspectives to handle the volatility. Use edges and value the marginal, niche opportunities. The permaculture concept, the boundary where two ecosystems meet, like land and water, is always the most biodiverse and productive zone. The business growth principle is innovation rarely happens in the dead center of an overcrowded market. Look to the edges, the underserved niches, the adjacent industries, useful demographic crossovers, and find untapped, highly profitable growth vectors. Creatively use and respond to change. Disruption mastery. The permaculture concept is change is inevitable. Ecological succession means a wildfire opens up space for new, stronger life to emerge. The business growth principle is do not fear market disruptions, regulatory changes, or AI advancements. Anticipate these shifts and design your business structure to be flexible enough to leverage new realities faster than your stagnant legacy competitors. Operationalizing permaculture. The advanced laws. Relative placement. Strategic positioning. So in permaculture, place elements in relation to each other so they assist each other. For example, place the chicken coop next to the garden so their manure easily fertilizes the soil. The business growth principle here is ensure your products function as an ecosystem. Your low ticket offer should naturally guide buyers to your core service, which seamlessly leads into a high ticket back-end retention offer. Every element should fuel the next. Every element performs multiple functions. Resource stacking. The permaculture concept is a pond can store water, reflect sunlight, grow fish, and act as a fire break. The business growth principle is never let an asset do just one job. A high-performing employee should produce results and document their process to train others. A piece of marketing content should drive leads, train sales prospects, and establish executive authority all at once. Every important function is supported by multiple elements. Redundancy. So the permaculture concept is water should be supplied by rainfall tanks and a well so that you never run out. It's that important. The business growth principle is never allow your business to have a single point of failure. If your company falls apart because one key executive quits or one supplier runs out of inventory, you aren't resilient. Build standard operating procedures, your SOPs, and have secondary supplier partnerships. Use biological accelerators. Organic automation. The permaculture concept is use worms to build soil health naturally rather than mechanically tilling. The business growth principle is leverage technology, automate email sequences, and AI workflows to handle repetitive, low leverage tasks. Let your systems work for you in the background so your human talent can focus exclusively on strategic, creative growth. The philosophy, ethics of business, the law of return, reciprocity. The permaculture concept here is whatever we take from the soil, we must return via compost or the system collapses. The business growth principle is continuous value extraction without giving back burns out your market and your team. Reinvest in your community, reward your loyal customers with unexpected bonuses, and take care of your staff's physical and mental health. Maximize the energy intersection. Synergy optimization. The permaculture concept, capturing the exact moment where water, slope, and plant root meet to create maximum fertility. The business growth principle is align your product development with peak cultural and technological shifts. Growth becomes effortless when you launch an offering at the precise intersection of the consumer desire and the emerging market's capability. Work with nature, not against it. Human behavior alignment. Permaculture concept. Fighting weeds with chemical is an endless battle. Planting ground cover to outcompete them is working with nature. The business growth principle, stop trying to force your customers to change their natural buying behavior. If your checkout process is complex, they will leave. Align your sales funnels and business models with fundamental human psychology, desire, status, comfort, and safety. The principle of optimum scale, sustainability, limits. The permaculture concept, an oak tree doesn't grow infinitely tall. It reaches an optimal size, stops upward growth, and focuses its energy on developing deep roots and producing acorns. The business growth principle is uncapped, reckless expansion can tear a business apart from the inside out. Define your optimum scale, the size where profit margins, product quality, team culture, and personal fulfillment are optimized. Focus on growing deeper and more profitable, not just bigger. These principles can be used effectively to grow a profitable, sustainable business that drives meaning and impact in the world. Ignore them at your own peril. I'm Joshua Van Veen, and thank you very much for watching.